I'm back with another video. This one actually is just one where I'm going to talk for a little bit. I don't have any books to review. I don't have books to unbox. I just wanted to tell you how I rate my books. So I read a plethora of genres, as you can see. I rate my books by how I feel about them. I don't actually give out a lot of 1s and 2s. I give out a little bit of 3s. I mainly give out 4 and 5s. Why? Because I read books I enjoy. It's not very often I find a book that I don't enjoy. I am an optimistic person, and I also just like to like things. I like a lot of things. I'm not someone who's super cynical and like, oh, I hate, loathe entirely. Like, it's not me. And I try not to be that way. And I try to see the good in everything, you know, aside from things that are actually bad or evil. But besides the point, I try to stay positive and stay pleasant. Tangent. Okay. Of course, you got the 1 through 5 rating. I'm gonna start at 1, make my way all the way to 5. If you disagree with me, okay. It's all about opinions anyway. I don't like the opinion. In my opinion, I don't like the opinion that reviews are just for readers, because actually a lot of the reviews I've had on my books have helped me write my future books or even fix the books that I've already published. So it's not just for readers, it's also for writers. And to gatekeep reviews away from writers or authors is entirely wrong, in my opinion. Starting at 1 star, I hated it. I did not enjoy it one bit. I probably didn't even finish it, so I did not like it. That is 1 star. Uno. One book I have an example of is Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. Scott Westerfeld holds my favorite series, one of my favorite series. It is the Uglies series, trilogy thing. Don't know if it's a series or trilogy, I always call it a trilogy, but then they added on extras, and it's like the 4th book of the trilogy, and it's different characters, so I just say it's a trilogy with an extra book. That's all I say. Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. I know this had a lot of 5 stars. I read it a long time ago, and it is a dual point of view. It is the author who wrote a book, and that book. The chapters where the author would have her side of her little story would give away a lot of the spoilers for the actual story, which made me not want to read the story, and I just want to read the story. I don't want to read about the author because I didn't care about the author. I just want to read the story. I hated the book. I think I got like a third of the way into it and I was done. I did not want to finish it. It was huge anyway. It was like a really thick book, and I didn't want to force myself to read a book with spoilers in one chapter and then the story in the other. And the other story, it wasn't going very fast either, and I think it's because it was author, book, and it just felt stretched on. That was, in my opinion. A lot of people actually enjoy this book. If you do want to read Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld, go check it out. I love Uglies so much. Uglies, Pretties, Specials, Extras. I read them all. I love it. I have a graphic novel of Shay's story. Like, I love that series. So, next. 2 stars. 2 stars is, I just didn't like it. I might have finished it, I might not have. It wasn't my cup of tea. There was something in it that I didn't enjoy. The characters I hated, or whatever. An example I have is actually Fearsome Dream by Eva Chase. If you guys watched my Shadow Blood Souls series review or series videos, I had high hopes from the very first book, which was Shattered Vow, but it turned into a dumpster fire for me. But it was really lacking for me in a lot of areas, that book specifically, and the series as a whole. So I did not enjoy the series as much as I wanted to, and I didn't really enjoy it. There was a lot where I was like, so I gave it 2 stars. On to the next one, 3 stars. This one is meh. I read it, it was fine. I didn't get super enjoyment out of it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. It was fine. It's the middle of the road. It's mediocre. It's okay. Some examples I have of that is actually A Glimmer in the Night by Kiri Taylor. You guys have probably seen my Kiri Taylor reviews. They are always glowing for me. I love Kiri Taylor. It was just missing something for me. I'll put all the links to these books below in case you do want to check them out. Another one is The Midnight Witness by Paul Publishing. It was a short story. It was a unique detective kind of story. It was missing a lot. It went too fast, and I felt like it needed to be longer. and I felt like I was just missing stuff with it. But the serial killer was a super interesting idea, and it did have a message behind it, and that's why I gave it 3 stars instead of just 2. All right, now we're up to the 4 stars. 4 stars mean I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I liked it. That's basically the ground level explanation of 4 stars for me. 2 of them, because I give out a lot of 4 stars. I do give out a lot of 5, but I feel like I give out more 4 because I do like a lot of the books I read. I can tell with a book that I look at, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks like it's something up my alley, and therefore it normally is, and I normally enjoy it. That being said, one of them was Splintered by A.G. Howard. I haven't done a video on that one because I read that one a while back. The only reason it didn't get 5 stars, I felt like A.G. Howard thought the readers were dumb or didn't understand what was going on, and so she'd explain something. I don't know. I think it's a she. Probably not. I don't know. They would explain something in a sentence. The next sentence, they would reiterate that in a different way as if the reader didn't get what they said in the first one, or they'd have a paragraph explaining something and then a paragraph re-explaining it. And I was just like, what? One of the things about writing is you never treat your reader like they're stupid. Because then I feel like this. And I'm like, no, I understood what was said. Why can't we just move on? Are you just adding fluff to the story? There was a lot of that in there for me, and I feel like it was just something that didn't put it over the edge that made me love it. That being said, I was the main character for Halloween and a Renaissance festival because that was cool. I can put those pictures up. I got to shoot a bow and arrow. I love archery. I'm not good at it, but I absolutely love it. It has nothing to do with Katniss. Moving on. Another one was My Life as a White Trash Zombie by Diana Rowland. You probably, if you have, I have done a video on it, so you've probably seen it if you have. I gave it 4 stars because it was missing something. I didn't love it. I did end up loving the 4th book because it was Diana Rowland found her groove, and you could see that character growth, those character flaws. The first book, she was supposed to be a druggie and like all that, but you didn't get to see any of that because she had to quit cold turkey because zombie stuff. But there weren't any drawbacks from that. And I really wanted to see her kind of stumble and be like, no, and then watch as she gets better and she doesn't stumble as much. I wanted to see her grow instead of just being like, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. And that's what I really get to see in the 4th book. That being said, I don't wish bad things upon anyone, but I feel like characters, you want them to have flaws so you can cheer with them whenever they overcome hardships. Oh, it's so good. In the 4th book, I loved it so much. That one I gave 5 stars. Okay. On to the 5 stars. Speaking of, 5 stars means I absolutely loved it. I will talk about this to anyone and I will talk your ear off. If you've seen my videos, you've seen a few 5 stars. I don't necessarily explicitly give out, I gave this 5 stars, unless sometimes I do, but I don't most of the time. But you can probably tell because I'm so amped about these books. One of them was The Azure Abyss by Ian Emerson. I haven't posted a video about this one yet, unless I did before I posted this, but I think about this book so often, and it's not out yet. It was an ARC that I got, and I can't wait for it to come out on paperback or hardcover, and I don't know when it will, and I check Ian Emerson's website like all the time because I can't wait for it. So whenever that book drops, you best believe I'll be doing an announcement, and whenever I post the link, go click it, go get it immediately because I love it so much. Another one was The Ones with Gilded Bones by Nathaniel Loscombe, which is actually one of my friends. He's in Canada. I've known him since 2016, I think, on Wattpad, and he found my book, The 100, which is a Watty winner, and it is a Wattpad exclusive. If you want to go check that out on Wattpad, you can find me, Renesmee Wolf. I'll put the link in the description too. Here is the book cover that Wattpad made for me. It's pretty. Here are a few others that I made that I also love, along with the first ever cover. It's come a long way from 2015. Anyway, The Ones with Gilded Bones. I actually created the cover for him, and I created it actually from scratch. I digitally painted all of that, which is really cool. I can probably put that time lapse here while I'm talking. But I really loved reading this book. It took me a while to get around to it because I was in a time of struggle and I was going through a lot, and all I could really do was write. I didn't really read much during this time, but I finally got around to reading it. I absolutely loved it. I love Nate's imagination and his storytelling ability, and he's obviously an auto-buy, not just because he's my friend, but because he's an amazing writer. I have a few books over there on my shelf. I have a few on my Kindle. Go check him out. Really, so good. He just recently came out with Moon Soul, and that one is really great too. This ended up being me just ranting about books I really like toward the end. Anyway, that's how I rate books. How do you rate books? Do you even post ratings if they're under a certain number? Do you go to the author's Instagram and tell them about what you loved about their book? Please do that. What do you do? What is your favorite book that you've read so far or this year? I can't tell you mine yet because I don't know. Azure Abyss is definitely up there at the top, but I know there are quite a few that I've absolutely loved this year, like Oberon's Calling, Son of Shadows, Earthborn Saga series, and a few more. So let me know below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.